Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. We're going to have Brian Placone on the show in a sec. We're going to do a little You Should Know This. Tried to line up some guests. We're just trying to iron out the guest thing because some people can at the last minute. And, it's just kind of a thing. Because I thought we were going to be able to do a anything can happen, but the locking down guests is just a thing. A lot of people are busy. But we will we're going to do some You Should Know This. So little game showy, little tasty game show. And then Ron and I answer some questions and talk about what's going on in our world today. So maybe we'll talk about, because I know Ron talked about this on his show. We'll get into suddenly there's new investigations happening into the Alabama Amazon Union. Oh, might been a little more, wasn't just, they voted it down. Might be more to it than that. We're going to talk we'll talk about the fact that they're announcing a ceasefire in between Israel and Palestine. Or Israel hopefully will just stop bombing the shit out of Palestine while they just send over some rockets that most of which get intercepted. That will end. Hopefully we'll talk about that a little bit, but we're going to do a little You Should Know This, folks. And of course, we're still demonetized by YouTube and all that. So go on over to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood and you can tip, and I will answer those questions. Ron and I will answer those questions after we do a little You Should Know This. Maybe we'll do 2 rounds of You Should Know This. I don't know if maybe Ron's got a second one. I don't know. We'll see. We're definitely going to do that. So Matt S., Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, thank you so much for supporting our show. Boo, 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 boo. Hold on. This frame is driving me nuts. Okay. There we go. We got it. Always tweaking, always making things better here at the Political Vigilante. Like, share, and subscribe. Send this out on your social media. Push it out there, folks. Because that always helps. And we will be doing government secrets tomorrow, of course, at 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern. Definitely tune in for some Gov Seeks. Let us bring on. Is this early or late? This is probably late. Let us bring on the show. Ron Placone, everybody.
What's up, Graham? How's it going, buddy?
I'm good. How's everything over and Get Your News On with Ron?
It's going great, man. And anything can happen, Graham, including the contestants' tie, because they're not here. So really, this is our first tie in the history of Anything Can Happen. We had a draw tonight. It's a 0-0 finish.
It really was it was exciting to watch that this first ever tie on Anything Can Happen. So really, I want people to watching the show knowing literally anything could happen. There could just not be guests. There could be.
I mean, it's like when you see a 0-0 football match, it's just like, yeah, it's just a question was not even asked. So, yep. So we got a draw on the record, a couple contested contests, a few draws, well, one draw. And there we go. It's the first one. There's some exciting questions in the arsenal, but they'll be heard 2 weeks from now.
They'll be heard 2 weeks from now. When I think we can announce our guests will be Annalise Garcia.
Yep.
From the Annalise Show, and Krish Mohan. Yeah. Krish Mohan. Who
very
I think
funny comedian.
Yes.
Tours with Lee Camp a lot. Yeah.
And he's also on Rockfin.
He is on Rockfin. Yes. Yes.
So it'll be next week. Will be or 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from this Thursday. 2 weeks from today. Jesus. You see, anything can happen. I can screw up the dates of my own show. I don't even know how to schedule my own show, Ron. That's how anything can happen works.
Time is still kind of not a thing. I mean, it's going to be a thing again soon, but it's still sort of like, I mean, what are we doing really? Like, we're still kind of in that fog.
We are. I definitely am like, it feels it's still, things are starting to open up a little bit. I have a show next week in Waikiki, which is exciting, but we're still in a little Groundhog Day-ish, still like not everything.
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes it's like I Zoom with my parents every Sunday. Like that's something like we try to do. And sometimes we're just like they're like, oh, so what's coming up this week? And I'm like, every week's the fucking same. Like, I mean, not in like a terrible way, but it's like the schedule is very much. This is what those day jobs we've avoided for years are like, Graham. This is, I guess, what they are.
I don't.
What is your day job is just you never tour. That's what your day job is. That's what a day job is. It's just you do the thing and then you don't tour ever.
So you just do the same thing and then you have no tour dates? No, I don't have tour dates working for a company and human resources. I don't have the tour dates.
What if you want to break it up and just do other shit? Like, well, that's not like, okay, well, I am not signing up for that unless a fucking pandemic happens. Then I have no choice but to do that. They're just like, newsflash, you could just do stuff on the internet for the foreseeable future.
It's funny because yes, as comics, we're just like, what's going on? And everyone else is like, yeah, this is what a job is. This is what a regular job is. And we're just like, you mean I'm not flying somewhere fun this Thursday? What are we doing then? Like, it is challenging, but we are going to start to put together some tour dates. We are starting to, so we should let the audience know we've started to really.
I mean, it's still, again, like people are still kind of in the tentative mode, but we are trying to line some stuff up that will hopefully be more rock solid within the next couple weeks. So
yeah, we're getting to let everybody know we've gone past the just Ron and I talking about it. Hey, what do you think of these dates phase? And we're actually reaching out to venues and getting some holds on dates. Sadly, I'd say probably 25 to 30% of the venues we had worked with in the past are no longer, which is heartbreaking.
It really is. I mean, that's
heartbreaking.
We did everything we could, and so did a lot of artists. So
we all tried, and some businesses didn't make it, which is just a gut punch. But the ones that have made it are. So it depends. It's really city to city, state by state, venue by venue. But many are like, yeah, let's do this. Put this book on we'll hold that date for you. We're ready. We're ready to go. Some are like, yeah, we think.
Yeah.
That sounds like a neat idea, I guess. But
there's a little bit of everything. But we should, within the next couple weeks, we should start, solidifying everything. We'll let you know as soon as we know, y'all will know, and there will be plenty of time to start making plans because we are going to hit a lot of cities and we're going to make up as much as we humanly can.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of Midwest, East Coast, Southeast, Florida. We're going to hit a lot of that. Mid-Atlantic, a lot of those states. We're going to hit the West Coast for sure. Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado might be on another time. But just because it's such a logistical thing to take a year's worth of tour dates and pack it into 6 weeks or whatever we're doing.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can. And if we don't make you up this time around, next year, probably you'll be first on the list. That's just how it goes. But, we're making up everything as safely and quickly as we can.
Safely as quickly as possible and is reasonable. We have to go some states what their live venue guidelines are going to be. And some of them are like, well, we don't know what that'll be in September, October. It might change. It might be right now it's at 20% in capacity and they might be at 70 or 80 or, it's like I was just watching the Cubs. this next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, they're opening to 60% capacity at Wrigley Field, and there's like vaccinated sections. So if you're the only fully vaccinated people can go in this section or something like that. So those sections are going to put more people in, I think, is kind of the thinking, which I'm like, okay. So it'll really, there's going to be a lot of those variables. I'm hoping we don't have to like last minute, this venue's not going to work. But I will say this, once we start locking in dates, even if we're not coming to your town, maybe you're just as stir crazy as everybody, and you're like willing to make a road trip to some other city that's another state over or something like that, which like do it. It'll be a blast.
Well, and since you brought up sports, my Penguins did win tonight, so that was nice.
All right, Ronnie.
They're up 2-1. They're up 2 games to 1. It's going to be an intense series, though. I have a feeling it might go to 7. So.
Who are they? I haven't even looked at the NHL. Has kind of a new playoff system this year.
Well, I think less teams made it. It's a little abbreviated because what they're trying to do is they're trying to stay on pace to be done at the usual time, so they can just be back in September, or I guess October.
October, right? Yeah,
October. So that's a lot of hockey. I mean, but it always is. I mean, it's always like 9-3 for them. So. But I think like it's a smaller playoffs this year so that they can finish it up around the same time and then just be back to normal come fall.
I love it.
Back to normal, quote unquote.
Yeah. Back to normal.
Yeah,
exactly. Back to normal of insane America. But yeah, I'm really anxious to like go to some sporting events this summer and stuff like that. So that'll be super fun. What else was I going to say? Yeah. So, it's going to start, looks like tentatively September 10th in Sacramento is looking like it might.
Fingers crossed. I mean, California is still a wild card, but.
Yes. And the venue we were looking at is one of the ones that made it through, but is very much like,
but doesn't know what they're gonna. Yeah, I mean, they made it through, and which is great. I mean, yeah, they're gonna be fine. They made it, but will we be able to be there that night? We don't know for sure, but as soon as we know, y'all will know.
I mean, it might also come down to us playing bigger venues, because normally we play about 100-seat venues for those of you who want to know. That's a route what Ron and I can do ticket wise. So it might be playing bigger venues that only have limited capacity. Like,
right.
It's if they're only allowing 40% capacity at a 250, 300-seat venue or something like that. And that's what we're going to do. So like, we'll do however we can get it done. So, yeah. So
there'll probably be some Saturday matinees in there. There'll be, but as soon as we know, you'll know. That's the quick notes. And
there's going to be some midweek shows. And so we just make it happen. We're going to be doing a lot.
We're getting in the van.
We're getting
in the van. We decided we have a lot to make up. So we're just going to get in the van and make it up
and go. And, so we're going to hit it hard. And, I don't know what it's going to mean for like meet and greets after the show and merch and stuff. I don't know what that'll look like. Might be like outside.
Yeah, I think we might want to just do that, man. I mean, we'll talk about this more like, off mic at a future time, but I think we might want to do that thing we were talking about, just getting like a little table and traveling with it.
Yeah.
And just doing stuff outside. That might be the way to go.
It might be our way to go.
I mean, it's going to be fall, but I mean, most of the places we're going, they're still pretty nice in the fall. I mean, we'll need to pack our jackets. We're being so obnoxiously Californian right now. Well, I mean, it might be a little cold. It's going to be October in some places. I have so many family members that would love to just smack me in the face right now.
Oh God, I can't even.
You grew up in Pittsburgh.
You're from Chicago. Yeah, it's insane. Let me read a couple of Rockfin tips, and then we'll get into you should know this. Shave your knuckles for justice. The Annalise Show. Graham, when you and Ron start doing live shows again, and you do your first yacht show, will you have a support yacht there asking for a friend? Yes, absolutely. As I've discussed on the show, after Jeff Bezos bought a yacht with a support yacht, I've said this before, and I think Ron, you probably would agree with me. If you own a yacht and don't have a support yacht, you're a fucking animal, right? I mean, we can just say that, right? Like only having one yacht without a support yacht.
Have some class. Yeah. I mean, really, it's like only having one house or something bogus
Ugh,
like that. What are you doing?
gross.
What are you doing?
It's so, or like you have a private jet, but you don't have a helicopter. Like, well, I don't. So how are you supposed to, after the private jet lands, what are you supposed to do? Like, where are you supposed to go from
Yeah.
there?
How do you get anywhere else?
It
Like
doesn't make,
what? It just flies you wherever you want to go, and then you're just stuck there. What do
It's-
you do?
right.
What do you do?
Yeah. So,
Or it's like having less than 60 cars.
yeah,
Why
exactly.
are you like they're cars? They're supposed to be collected.
Yeah.
That's why they made them. You're supposed to collect them so that you can show them to your friends. What do you get, like one tulip? No, you get a bunch of them. And then the same with car. You get like a fleet of cars and say, look at this.
Yeah. It's like having houses, like a house, and you've actually been and you use every room in the house. Like that just seems like insanity to me. Like you of course need rooms that you've never been in that you just decorate.
Yeah. And or it's like knowing the names of everyone who works for you. How are you supposed to, like, oh, this person cleaning my house? I never learned their name. Why would I do such a thing? They're just the person that cleans on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Thank
And
you.
then this other person cleans the rooms I've never seen before. They might not even do their job. I don't know. Those are rooms I don't go into, but they're in charge of cleaning them. I don't know their name.
Why would I know the name of someone that works for me? Like this
Why
is just
would you do
insane.
that? Why would you do that?
I don't know the name of the guy that takes care of my horses, but I know one of the horses' names.
Well, of course. I mean,
Right.
you gotta love your pets. Don't be ridiculous here. But yeah, we don't know.
Right. So to answer Annalise's question, yes, we will be touring with a yacht and a support yacht. I mean, that's just how Ron and I tour. That's how it's going to shake out.
You know, I actually used to love the idea of like a comedy cruise, but now I don't think I think cruises might not be a thing anymore. I think they might be going away.
I did a bunch of cruises and they were super fun. I did all these like rock cruises. I did the 311 cruise. I did the Kiss cruise. I did all these super fun cruises. But I'm like, there's no way everybody packed on this boat. And then knowing like some comic friends of mine who did cruises, and they were like, they had some nightmare stories of friends like who were stuck on ships when the pandemic hit. I don't know how the cruise industry is going to come back. I mean, some people are just itching to get back and do it. I don't know, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there either. I mean, I think there's going to be another leveling. I mean, because back in the day, like there were a ton of cruise lines. Like I don't know if you remember that, but it's like there were like a ton of cruise lines, and then they didn't like. In fact, here's like just a fun for instance of how many cruise lines there were. When I was a kid, there was the Disney cruises, and there was also the Hanna-Barbera cruises.
What?
So they had, yeah, dude, like seriously, like you probably, like you were, I guess like a young adult, so you probably didn't like know this, but I was a kid, and the reason like I went on the Hanna-Barbera one and not the Disney one was because the Disney ones didn't allow casinos on the ship. And my dad was like, I'm not going to go on a cruise unless there's a casino on the ship. So he was just like, you kids love the Flintstones, right? And we were like, sure, why not? And he's like, all right, because we're going on the Flintstones one. Do you like, who do you like better, Fred or Mickey? I heard Fred. All right, I'm booking it. Hey, we didn't care. We were happy to just go on a cruise, but
I love that. That's the distinction. And that's probably made, I bet you Disney went, yeah, we might have started having casinos on ours because all these parents there's no way your dad was the only parent that was like,
oh, totally. Oh yeah, totally. Like it's funny. I never really knew that was why. I thought like maybe it was just like more affordable. And I didn't really care. I mean, I was just excited to like be on a cruise ship and go to the beach. I didn't care like what characters were there. So, but I never realized like that was why. He told me like all these years later, he's like, yeah, man, it's because Disney, they didn't have casinos on the ship. I wasn't gonna, you know, like it's not like we could go on a cruise whenever we wanted. It was like a very special vacation, you know. So So he's like, I'm not gonna not have a casino if we're going on a cruise.
Yeah, you guys can
Fair
run
enough,
around.
dude.
I love that. You guys run around the water slides and talk to Huckleberry Hound or whatever the shit. I don't know. I got some dice to throw, so I don't care what you guys are doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, go say hi to Dino. I got some slot machines waiting on me.
He's just down there, yabba dabba doo, just
Wilma. That's what it. Whenever you hit the jackpot, that's what it did.
Yeah. If he hits a blackjack, it's like, well, have a gay old time.
Yeah. It's like either Fred or George Jetson just like yelling to be let in the house. That's like what happens whenever you hit the jackpot.
Oh fuck. Well, now I want to go on this cruise, Ron.
Well, that's the thing. Like the line has been out of existence for like years and years. Like all those smaller cruise lines were like gobbled up. Maybe it was Disney was like, screw it, we're getting casinos. Then everyone else just went bye-bye. I don't know. But like, yeah. Like, so there's going to be another leveling of the cruise industry, I think. Like a lot are not going to, like, there's only a couple big ones. And now there's going to be like, there might just be one big one. It might just be Carnival Inc.
Yeah, there's Carnival and Norwegian and Royal Caribbean, I think, are the three. And that's kind of it. I mean, in the States here, or the Caribbean and this side, because I know there's other cruises. Because I know that's the other thing too. Like Australian comics, there's a whole cruise line industry for Australian comics. They say a lot of like Sydney Harbor and Brisbane and all that stuff. And so, but I remember, speaking of casinos, I did the 311 cruise for the first. It was with Doug when I was touring with Doug Benson, and he, you know, there's a lot of 420 friendly people that are 311 fans, and the guys in the band I know the guys in 311. They're really cool. I was actually just talking to their bass player Peanut last night. And they have a huge tour. They're starting to ramp up end of August, which is cool to see that bands are doing that. And so we went on this crew, and we were the comics, and Doug brought me, and it was like some of the best shows. I mean, as like, I got a standing ovation. Like, it was nuts. Those crowd, the 311 fans were so, and we just watched, and it was the music ones. And I had never been on a cruise. Like, I had never worked the regular cruises. And so I got very spoiled, because I've heard like the regular cruises, the comics are like, oh God, you got to be squeaky clean. And so we were, this company, Six Man was the production company, and they chartered the boat. So I didn't work for Carnival. I worked for Six Man.
Right.
And so it's all a bunch of mainly young people. It's basically, and it was so smart. They just did a floating music festival. Yeah. So 311 would be the headlining band. And then they'd have another, 10 or so bands playing all the other smaller stages. And so there was just music going all day. And then we did comedy shows twice, like the first night and the closing night. And so the closing night, it's the same audience. So you're like, man, we had to write all week about all the crazy shit that happened, so you're like,
right.
You can't just like roll out your same act. But that's what made it so great. Cause then we just did all this riffing about what was happening on the cruise and all the fun stuff and the shows. And
yeah, see, that's what sounds appealing to me. Like a theme cruise is like what sounds fun. Like, that's just, and all those bands, like a lot of those 90s bands were doing that kind of thing. And in fact, like me and my college buddies, like we always have like these goofy inside jokes. And sometimes like my buddy Patrick will just text us this totally off the wall thing that makes no sense whatsoever, but it's just like hilarious because it's him. And one time it was so funny because it was like 7 a.m. where I was at. And he sends me this text and he goes, dude, I don't know how to break this to you guys. And it was like to a handful of us. So I'm like thinking somebody died. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then his next text, he just goes, the Mark McGrath and Friends cruise has been canceled. I started laughing.
Dude, it was like, the cruise was so, and so I got in with the six man company, and they're like, Graham, they got a new contract with Norwegian Cruise Lines, and they said the cruise, like on the Carnival, the casino actually was in the middle of the ship, so everyone would walk through it, and that's obviously where so for those people who don't know, the cruise ships, everything's included, food and drinks, except alcohol is extra, and there's gambling. So that's how the cruises really make their money, is they want you to buy a lot of, booze, and then it's like a floating casino and resort. Like there's shops so if you just pay for the cruise and you don't drink alcohol, you don't have to spend much money. And so they were like, this new ship, the casino is way in the basement of the boat and people don't walk through it. And we're trying to drive people to the boat. So how about you go down there and you're just this like hype, and we'll have a little stage and you'll interview people in the bands. And so I did that every night. And then they gave me like this one lounge show, because I was like, you got to let me do a show in an actual lounge, not in a casino.
Sure.
But and they would give me money to gamble with. They're like, if a table's like empty, go gamble. And they're like, they gave me
to like just beef it up.
Yes.
Oh, dude,
it was.
Oh, that's a ticket. And if you did drink, they would let you drink for free too. You wouldn't have in that
I know
situation. Oh, really?
Well,
okay.
They charge you alcohol everywhere. So they really try to. And because they charge you alcohol forever, they gave me all this free beer to give away. So people were like, because there'd be like an empty blackjack table, and I go, first 5 people to sit down, everybody gets a beer. And I'd be on this microphone walking. I had a cordless mic walking around the casino, and people like boom, boom, boom. And I'd be like, and then I'd start, and like the dice table would be cold, and I'd start shooting dice on the microphone, like, oh, daddy's getting hot. And I'm making jokes and I'm gambling. And then the table fills up and everyone's high-fiving me. And the stick men are like, and I'm like, hey, tip your stick man. They're working hard. And I just like, I got paid to just gamble and then just be a jackass, and I just, I wrote all these jokes, like, and I'd be like, I got a bucket of beers to the first person who gets a blackjack at this table. So people sit down, they'd start gambling, and someone would get a blackjack and they get a bucket of beers.
That sounds awesome, dude.
It was so fun. And I met and hung out with all these bands, and it was just like, I met this band 1,000 Horses, and some of the same bands were on several of the cruises, and there was this DJ Soul Man. And then so then late at night, so all the shows would end around 11:30 or 12. And then they put a DJ on this big dance floor, and he'd play dance music till 2, 3 in the morning. And it was like that's fun,
so cool, man. Yeah, not everyone has that experience. Well, we both know this as comics. Like, not everyone has a cruise experience like that. Like, that's I mean, a lot do, but a lot don't. It's not necessarily always glamorous.
Because I mean, I've heard these stories like, oh man, the older crowds, and they get offended easily. And I remember one time, so then all the cruises, you usually go out of port, we would all leave out of Miami, and then you'd be like at night, the opening night cruise, and then a whole day at sea. And then the next day you'd arrive in some cool place like Turks and Caicos or Cozumel or something like that. And you'd have about 13 hours to run around this little resort place and snorkel and do all that stuff. And one of them, I can't remember where it was, anywhere, maybe it was Cozumel. And we pull in, and so there's the 311 ship, and then this like cruise of like mainly like older Brits and Aussies. And so there's this like pool. There's all these older people who are used to just seeing mainly senior citizens and families on these cruises, right? And so all of a sudden, all these like rock and roll stoners, and they're just like, woo! Like these people at the 311 cruise, and this kid like does a cannonball and water splashes up, and this like older British woman goes, oh my, when she gets splashed. It's just like, it was like Caddyshack. It was so beautiful. So I would do one of those cruises again, I guess, is the short version of what I'm saying. Yeah. And I was also, last night when I was just texting Aaron, who goes by Peanut, he's the bass player with 311, and because he texted, because I posted this show that I'm doing in Waikiki. He goes, dude, it sounds like your first headline set in 15 months. I go, yeah, it's I'm so pumped. And I said, and he's like, we're going on the road. I said, if our paths cross, I would love to come to one of your shows because they're so fun. And I know like Nick, the lead singer, and they're just really cool guys. They've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, they've been around, man.
Yeah, they've been doing this a long time.
I mean,
they have.
Where are they out of?
Well, they originally were out of Omaha. They started
really
in Omaha.
I
Yeah,
know that about them. Okay,
I think most of them live in California now, but yeah, that's how they started. And so, anyway, I hope on our tour, if we have some days, or even if we do some 420, some matinee shows, that we go to concerts at night or whatever, because that's so fun seeing live music when you're on the road.
Yeah, live music's pretty cool, man. I miss it,
especially like after you've been entertaining people, to then go just be an audience member is it is
the best. You're just like, hell yeah.
Well, the last live music that I saw, and maybe you saw, was Wyclef Jean when we did Harlow's in Sacramento right before the shutdown.
Yeah, that's the last live show I saw. I mean, I had tickets for a couple things like since then, and yeah, everything was not a thing. Everything was like, no, I don't know when it'll get rescheduled or if, like, some of the stuff.
I think that's the most beautifully simplistic explanation of the pandemic year, is everything was not a thing. It just
isn't a thing right now. It's just not. It's all asleep. Everything's asleep. You're sort of. It's just not.
That's like the official
not be a
CDC fucking announcement. It's just, you go to CDC's website, it just says everything is not a thing now.
Not a thing yet. You're gonna be a thing soon. Buckle in. That's the official statement. They're like, we're working on this, regaining its status as a thing you do. But until then, don't be a fucking idiot. That's all they say.
If I ever became a politician, that's how I would talk to people. I go, look, it's all shut down. Just don't be an idiot. All right, next question over here.
Don't be fucking idiot. Just don't. What are you gonna do about? Well, what's the thing that we should probably do that the rich people don't want us to do? We're gonna do that.
We're gonna do
Fuck
that.
them.
Fuck them. Then someone's asked a question. I'll go, you're asking the same question. Yes, I just said it. Just don't fucking this is what we're going to do. Don't be a fucking idiot, and we'll make it better. Anyway, next question.
What's your campaign slogan? I'm not a dick, and you shouldn't be one either. That's it.
Yeah,
that's just probably win. That person would probably win forever.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. And yeah.
Elwood 2022. Don't be a dick.
There you go, buddy. There you go. Mayor Elwood.
Mayor Elwood. Oh, I would laugh every time somebody called me Your Honor. Like,
do they say that to a mayor? Do they say Your Honor for a mayor? Oh, really? I actually never realized that.
Yep.
I mean, I've never done that. Have you?
I don't hang around with a lot of mayors. I'm trying to think here, but
I just mean it like I've been to like city halls and stuff, and I've always just said, like, I've just addressed them as mayor so and so.
Oh,
I've never said like Your Honor or anything. One time I just said, hey, you sitting in the center, we need municipal broadband, and you don't understand it, and you're in charge of shit. That's why our country's so fucked. You're in charge of stuff and you don't understand shit you need to understand. That's honestly is, if you had to really boil it down. Well, a lot of people are in charge of shit they don't understand.
Right.
The United States, people are in charge of shit they don't understand, especially when it comes to digital rights. I mean, we have two types of politicians when it comes to the internet, Graham. Politicians who don't understand the internet and politicians who can't handle the internet, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's it. Those are the only two we have. That's it. That's all we have.
That's you in a town hall meeting. Hey, fella, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. Make this better.
Really? I mean, whatever. Yeah. All right. Well, you know.
Hey, you, mayor guy, talking to you. Look at me. Yeah. Why can't we get broadband? What are you, stupid?
We need broadband. And you're like, what? You're saying you're the mayor? I don't recall voting for you. So you're not my mayor. So, I mean, yeah, you're the guy, but that's unfortunate. That's what people should be saying when they don't like, hey, unfortunate council member. It's unfortunate you have this job. It's unfortunate. My council guy's a dick. He's a cop. So I would totally, if I was ever at like a neighborhood meeting and he was there, I'd be like, unfortunate Buscano. That's what I'm calling it, unfortunate, because it sucks you're a council member. And that guy's running for mayor of LA too, which really sucks. Our options are like Garcetti, who's like the biggest. He might be the worst mayor in the country. I mean, it's a tight race. Like they all, like New York, Portland, and Garcetti, they all compete against each other. But like he might be the worst mayor in the country, and the only person I know running against him is a cop. So,
oh God,
LA baby.
Oh great, this guy's gonna give
utopia.
LAPD. Oh God. Annalise Show, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Annalise, Ron, I do not accept defeat. If in fact, since the other party backed out, I really think I deserve a win by default. Stop the steal. Yes, Annalise was going to be our one of our contestants tonight, but the other person, we couldn't get them. We had a scheduling thing, so she is contesting that this was a draw. She's like, I should automatically win. And again, on anything can happen. Maybe that does. Maybe in 2 weeks when she competes, it'll be worth 2 wins if she wins. Yes,
it's like a double win.
Annalise is playing for 2 wins.
Yeah, she's playing for vengeance.
She's playing for Annalise, the second coming, playing for vengeance.
That's right. Anything can happen.
Oh, beautiful. MHC, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Still hoping for San Jose show in addition to San Francisco, only because I'm unable to drive. But if it's in SF, I'll do my best to make it. Yes. So we're definitely going to have Sacramento and San Francisco, and we are working on like some San Jose show. It's just finding a venue in San Jose is where we're at right now.
Yeah, we're going to try to figure out something for the area. So yeah, buckle in, hopefully. And thanks for letting us know, because we're still kind of up in the air there. So thanks for letting us know. We'll work on San Jose.
We're working on San Jose. Mira Maxwell, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, Mira. Venice recently banned cruise ships in its main canal. More power to them. Oh, good to know.
Well, and also shout out to Livorno, who refused to accept those Israeli weapons.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it was bad. I mean, it sucks because they just basically went around them and just like chartered elsewhere. But yeah, Livorno, which is like, that's the big lefty port town in Italy. It's where the Communist Party started over there. They were like, we're not, like the dock workers united were like, we're not touching this to, like, we're not going to load or unload any of these ships that are supposed to go to Israel and have weapons, because we know what they're going to do. We're not doing it. And they were just like, no. All Livorno was like, no. It was pretty badass.
That's great. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood. You're watching The Political Vigilante. I'm here with the host of Get Your News On with Ron Placone, and we're talking about the what's happening with Israel. I wanted to discuss this. Several things have happened. First of all, there is discussion that just came out recently, within the last couple hours, of a ceasefire, which really consists of just Israel stopping bombing the shit out of this open air prison in Gaza. Hamas has shot some rockets. Some Israelis have died, but it's literally like 200 some people to 20. It's preposterous. It's not a conflict when one side is clearly the abuser and the other side is just bare. Like I always say this, it's a tweet Lee Camp put out last week. He goes, here's a drinking game to play if you never want to get drunk. Is every time an American politician says, take a drink, every time an American politician says Palestine has a right to defend itself. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You'll never hear that.
Yeah, you won't.
So, and Ron was just talking about the other thing that's going on is, again, typical of America, and especially the Democratic Party, is like, oh, we got to do something. We got to stop the ceasefire, but we're still going to sell Israel $753 million in weapons. Like, and the squad tried to vote it down or whatever. And I'm glad Rashida Tlaib is really standing firm on this. as well she should. She's the first ever Palestinian person in Congress. But this is part of the problem. America can't sit there and go, oh, we don't know what's going on. Like, no,
Yeah.
they're bombing these people in Gaza and killing women and children with American arms that we sell them. And they're buying them with the $3 billion that we give them every year. So it's just like, it's kind of insane. So I know you've been following this. We all of us, lefty indie media people have been following this. How do you see this, Ron, in terms of, and what you just said, Laverna, this port town in Italy said, we're just not going to handle these weapons, which
Livorno,
thank you. They went around it, it's still, but that's what it's going to take. Like the residents, the Palestinians, I think was it in Jerusalem, went on strike?
They did. Yeah. I don't know all the details around it or what all was involved there, but yeah, they did go on a big strike in Palestine. And I actually just Googled because, and I haven't seen anything conclusive here, but basically, today was the deadline for anybody like in government to basically do anything to try to block this weapon sale. Like today was the deadline because it was introduced on May 5th. You have 15 days to do something about it. So, they introduced something at the 11th hour. And so, and I haven't seen anything, at least just doing a quick Google search here, that's saying if it went anywhere. So I'm assuming it likely didn't, but yeah, they basically at the 11th hour, put something out there, which in a way is just like, well, are you just doing this to say that you didn't do nothing? Like, is there any chance this will lead to anything? And I think the other striking thing worth noting here is that Joe Biden's little theater, which by the way, a bunch of countries are calling for a ceasefire. Who's not on that list calling for a ceasefire? The United States.
Oh, weird.
And Joe Biden had his phone call with Netanyahu where he didn't even say we should have a ceasefire. He said, like, let's try to get on a path to a ceasefire, whatever the hell that means. Like I don't know, whatever, like you just bomb your way to a ceasefire. I don't know what that means, but let's get on a path to a ceasefire. And it's a bunch of bullshit because he's asking for a path to a ceasefire while simultaneously selling more weapons. But Netanyahu didn't even play along. Netanyahu just said, no, we have, I forget his exact quote, but he basically said, we're going to stay until our aim is complete, which you're bombing the shit out of Palestinians. You're destroying their homes. You're wrecking their residencies. You're killing journalists. You're killing children. You're killing, you're destroying AP buildings. What is your aim? Who are you defending your people from? We all know the answer to that. Nobody. Israel has all the military might, and they have it because we give them $10 million a day for it. I will say this, though. It's been uplifting that I feel like a lot of the kind of rhetorical walls that have been put up for both of our lifetimes when it comes to this issue, where, if you criticize the right-wing neo-fascist Israeli government, that's anti-Semitism. No, it isn't. It's criticizing the right-wing fascist Israeli government. And, you can't, it's complicated. All these little barriers that they put up, those walls are being broken down, which is evident when you had 25,000 people show up for Palestinian rights in Los Angeles. And you saw the Israeli embassy get shut down in Boston with people protesting for Palestine. And you saw people show up in cities all throughout the country. And you saw, something else that was really powerful. You saw so many Jewish people standing up and saying this is atrocious that this is being done in our name. People in Israel and in the United States. That's really powerful. And then you see what happens in Livorno, where the dock workers stand in unity and say, we're not doing this. Sadly, the warmongers keep warmongering, but there are shreds out there to give you a little bit of hope in humanity.
Yeah, I agree. More people are waking up and going, nah, this doesn't work. You can't say, you can't, like you said, like it's not anti-Semite. And you're not an anti-Semite if you say I'm not in favor of a right-wing Israeli government. And, and I'm seeing more like the organizations like Bet Salim, which is an Israeli human rights group that is highly critical of Netanyahu's government and its treatment of Palestinians. I'm really, that gives me hope too, because, and they call out the propaganda of the Israeli media. And because we know this, we're fed a bunch of propaganda here in America, and they are in Israel. They're fed all this propaganda, and they're like, no, this is nonsense. There's also another great organization, breakingthesilence.com.il, which is a bunch of ex-Israeli soldiers that are like, nope, we treat, and they're like confessing to all these awful things they participated in. And then the mentality towards the Palestinians, they're like, we're taught that they're less than, they're animals, and we can just do what we want. And all of these sort of broken narratives. Well, if Hamas, they keep causing problems. Okay. Yes, Hamas has shot rockets in there. Yes, Israelis have died but come on, it is like 20-1, the rate. And that's not, all these narratives are getting broken of like, well, I watched this guy from Bet Salim on Democracy Now, and they showed this clip of Netanyahu going, well, we're just defending ourselves. Netanyahu's like, we're just responding. And Amy Goodman says, what do you think of that? He goes, this is just pure propaganda. This is not true. And it's nice to see that within Israel, people saying this, because I've met some Israelis or pro-Israeli people, and they're a little culty. They're a little like, the ride or die, America's #1 types in this country.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of parallels there between, people who are fine with what the Israeli government is doing, both in Israel and here in the United States, and people who, the U.S. is a force for good around the world. All the stuff we're doing is good. And then of course there's anti-war people in the United States, and there's, anti-war people in Israel, and people opposed to what their government is doing. It's and the pressure that's being put on. And I think this is, I know we've talked about this before, but it is one of the upsides of having a guy like Trump in the White House. I'm glad he's gone, but because he triggered so much in people on the left, and it did wake people up into like participate, especially younger people are like, the whole system's broken. Yeah. Younger people, like to see, like young Black women in getting interviewed going, we're not just voting for Kamala. We know who she is. We know how many Black people she arrested. Like, they're like, okay, yay, Trump's gone. Now what? Like, now we got to hold, and Biden's like, well, we're going to find pathway to, like you said, pathway to ceasefire. How does that work? How about just ceasefire? How about the word ceasefire? That's pretty clear what that word is. And so, there's a handful of like back to brunchers, but they're just a small handful, man.
They're small.
And I feel like we were saying this on the trail. It's like, look, people have moments in their lives that just sort of jolt them awake, whatever it may be. And maybe it's like a combination of things. I know for me, it was the Iraq War, because I was, I was in high school and I wasn't really paying attention to politics. And then all of a sudden I was just like, why are my friends being sent to war in Iraq? Like, Iraq didn't do 9/11. This is what I'm thinking, because I'm not really paying attention yet. I don't really know much about the world yet. And I started learning a lot of things. I started learning about, this is what we do. This is what the United States does. We shouldn't be over there. This is a bunch of lies. The Bush administration is pretty messed up. And, people have those moments. And for a lot of people of all ages, but a lot of young people especially, Trump was that moment. When Trump got in, that was the moment where they woke up. So now they're wide awake. And they're seeing how it's not just Republicans, it's Democrats too, because Wall Street owns both teams. And they're seeing, just because you get a guy with a D next to his name in, that doesn't mean all the problems go away. In fact, he doesn't really want to do much about anything. So yeah, we have, there's a groundswell of people who are fed up, and justifiably so. So
yeah, and you can't sit there and because especially, you know, younger people are so plugged into social media, they don't come home and watch CNN. You know, they don't watch the 9 o'clock news or whatever, like my dad would. You know, that's how my dad did it. And he always did that because that's just how he grew up. And so they're like, they might believe some narrative, but then they see this groundswell on social media saying other things and they go, oh, wow, wait a minute. Like, because they grew up in the, you know, the anti-bullying thing and all, you know, like if somebody, you know, does something awful on social media, they're called out for it and they're held accountable for it. And so they're seeing this and you can't deny, you know, they go on their Instagram and then they see all these people in their timeline at this pro-Palestine rally in all these cities all over America. And they're like, wow, maybe I should be there. And they're hearing all these narratives that are getting shot down. The whole, it's complicated. It's not complicated, you know, and they're starting to wake up to this because, you know, I was fed the like, yeah, Israel's not perfect, but it's Hamas is real. I mean, I was fed that. I was never like that critical of Israel because I was told I shouldn't, you know, like it's just the terrorists or whatever. And now that I realize this, and you see like Abby Martin's Gaza Fights for Freedom, and you know, you hear a lot of like Jewish Americans going, this ain't right. I mean, you know, Lee Camp, Katie Halper, these people are Jewish and they're like, this ain't right. When Bernie Sanders said in the primary in 2019, when he did the Fox town hall, and he said this numerous times, but he said this on a Fox town hall, he goes, being critical of a right-wing Israeli government is not anti-Semitic. Here's a Jewish man who had families that were in the Holocaust saying this. So it's like, yeah, you're right. You can't just and you're not going to get shouted down as, oh, you're anti-Semitic, or, oh, you're not Jewish, and you get patted on the head. You don't get it. Like I've gotten that before. Like it's too complicated for you. You don't get it. And it's like, well, now that I've studied it, I go, no, I do get it. It's wrong. Yeah. It's apartheid and it's abuse. And I'm sorry. Just like the American government totally abuses people.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I know Norman Finkelstein is another person who comes to mind. I mean, that guy has been speaking about this stuff for years, and again, that he is Jewish. He lost family in the Holocaust. He lost his parents in the Holocaust. He's been, you know, doing this, like he's had this message for years and years and years, and has put up with, I can only imagine. And now, finally, after all this time, like the world is catching up to him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The world is catching up to him. So how do you see this ceasefire?
Oh boy. That's $1 million question, man. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't see, I doubt they're going to stop anytime soon because no one's making them. I mean, they pretty much told Biden they weren't really going to.
Well, the thing that's curious is it sounds like Israel has agreed to it. I was literally looking at, I think it was Richard Medhurst. I'm going to look at it right now. Richard Medhurst, who is Syrian, and is following this quite closely on his Twitter timeline. He went.
Well, I think even if they agree to it, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, he said breaking unconditional ceasefire between Hamas and the Israeli occupation to take effect at 2 a.m. local time. This was 7 hours ago. So I guess it'll just be, let's hope it holds.
Right. Oh, totally. I mean, I'm glad to hear that. And I just.
But yeah, I mean, Israel has a very itchy trigger finger, and they act the same way that like militarized police act. And you know, someone throws a water bottle at a cop who's fully armed and it's not going to hurt them at all. And they go, oh, we had no choice. So it's like someone's going to sneeze in Gaza and Israel's going to go, oh, they broke the ceasefire. And, you know, they're just looking for a reason, because I truly believe, and if you watch Abby Martin's Gaza Fights for Freedom and you watch Empire Fire, she interviews people on the streets in Israel, and they just I don't know that they realize they're totally all like, yeah, totally okay with genocide. The Palestinians are less than human. We got to exterminate them. It's totally okay. And many people buy into that. They're like in a cult. And Netanyahu, I firmly believe his goal is to wipe them, kill them all. And he's looking for any excuse to do it and doesn't care. And as long as America keeps selling him weapons, which we just did today, we just agreed to it today. And we could have stopped it. And of course, the dumb Democrats didn't. And then you've got shithead Republicans like Leslie Graham, who's, they're all those crazy. They're all for, they're evangelicals who think that if the Jews occupy, that area, then the second coming of Christ. They really believe that. So they're insane. They're crazy people. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think the international pressure just has to stay on, and it's really to hold all of these people in Congress and the Senate accountable who allowed this weapons sale to happen and allow this $3 billion every year to go to Israel.
And honestly, dude, that's all of them. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I can't, look, and I'm not trying, the entire government is to blame. And I can't, I was talking about this on Jimmy's show yesterday. It's just, no one can get a pass anymore. This is just absolutely absurd. This is just political theater, just a total corporate coup. And we've really lost the plot big time, and now's the time to take it back. And each other is literally all we have, and I'm sorry, when politicians, and it doesn't matter who they are, and I'm not trying to say like that they're all exactly as bad or anything like that, but I am saying that it doesn't matter who's telling you this. If they say like, we're on the same team, like, no, we're not. That's just definitionally not the way it is. They're not. I said this on Jimmy's show yesterday. Thinking like a politician is on your team and is just going to like work in your interest. That's like thinking someone trying to sell you a car is on your team. Like they're not on your team. Like they're not, like, you don't hand, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a car salesperson. I'm just saying when you're going to buy a car, you don't go up to some salesperson and go, I know you got my back. I know you're looking out for me. Here's my credit card. Just let me know how it goes. Politics is the same way. They're not on your team. They're playing for Team America, and Team America does some really shady shit. And, whether they have good intentions or not, Team America does some shady shit. And so General Strike, that's all we have. That's our only tool. Like, that's it. Because in the toolkit of change, you have direct action, you have protests, you have strikes, and then you have politicians. But guess what? If the politicians have no incentive to do anything for you, they're not going to. It doesn't matter how many nice tweets they send. It doesn't matter how fun they are on Twitch. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. It doesn't. Stop idolizing them. Stop worshiping them. Yeah. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Other countries don't have it the way we do. They don't do that. No one's tuning into Boris Johnson's podcast in England. It's not a thing. He doesn't even have one, I'm pretty sure. No one's tuning into Putin's playground on the weekends. He doesn't have a video blog or anything like that. That's something bizarre that we do here in the United States. It's time for it to fucking stop. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. They're a tool for change at best. At best. At worst, they're a roadblock to change. And usually they're busy being those roadblocks. So, yeah. General Strike.
And in all sincere honesty, car salesmen are more honorable than politicians. so like, they're more honorable than politicians. Yeah, that's insane. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Graham Elwood. You're watching The Political Vigilante. I'm here with Ron Placone from Get Your News On with Ron, also a regular on the Jimmy Dore Show, and part of the whatever we're going to call our tour once we start it back up. It's not going to be the Progressive Comedy Tour again, the Socialist Comedy Tour.
We've outgrown that name. We've outgrown that name. I still like the idea of calling it the Digital Nomads.
Nice. The Digital Nomad Comedy Tour. I love it.
Or we could just call it, Hey, Things Are Back. But that might just be just like us going like, remember this? No shit.
the post-pandemic tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it something like that. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because we were just talking about this in terms of, politicians and pressuring Israel, but you brought up general strikes, and it's something all of us like in this space have been talking about. The hashtag general strike has been all over the internet for a while now. We are seeing what Palestinians in, I believe in Israel, Palestinians living in Israel just went on a general strike, and which helped maybe get Netanyahu to the table to discuss a ceasefire, which it sounds like they're going to have pretty soon here. And McDonald's is now on strike. They're on strike, and they're calling for a boycott, which I urge everybody: do not shop at McDonald's. Do not shop at McDonald's.
I'm there, Graham, and I've been doing this for years. I've been supporting this protest for so long. I didn't even know it. I have mentioned, I'm like, I really love when there's calls to action and it involves me altering my life in no way whatsoever. Like don't eat McDonald's, on it. Nailing this. I got you. Yeah. Now, if they ever say you can't eat pasta, I'm out of your revolution. I'm sorry. You're going to have to do it without me. You're going to have to. Emma Goldman said, I don't want to, if your revolution doesn't have dancing, I don't want to be there. Ron Placone saying, well, if I can't have pasta, I can't be at your revolution. It's not even that I don't want to be. I just can't. I'm sorry.
So, okay, we got to have let me write this down. Pasta at the revolution. We got to have pasta at the revolution. So there's a lot of stuff happening now with, there's that, and this McDonald's thing, which is, I don't know, they might get some traction. And now there was, Amazon workers in Alabama were trying to get a union started, and it got voted down. But now stuff is starting to come forward that Amazon was meddling, right? And
well, yeah, I mean, there was stuff right out the gate. I mean, the labor board pretty much put this stuff out, and there's a number of things that they did that were just very blatant intimidation tactics that should not be allowed. I mean, first of all, we'll start here and then we'll finish here. They wanted a mailbox put in to put the ballots in. Like they wanted to contract out this mailbox to just be, and by the way, it was like put in the center of the facility. There were cameras everywhere, and they're like, yeah, we'll collect the ballots here. The labor board said, no, that's not an ethical way to conduct this election. Amazon did it anyway. So right away, like they just thumbed their nose at those recommendations, did it anyway. So they did that, and there were cameras all around. People were a little uncomfortable. When they would have meetings, first of all, their anti-union perspective was everywhere. Well, no one can stop them from doing that. Okay. But here's the other thing they did. Whenever they would have question and answer breakouts, if anyone would ask a pro-union question or say something relatively pro-union, they would have someone go up to that person, get their information. If it was more of an anti-union thing, they didn't do that. So it was a blatant intimidation factor. The other thing they did, well, so, hey, we can post our anti-union stuff everywhere because that's what the company wants. So the people who want the union, well, where can they post their information? Well, one of the things they can do is they can stand outside of the facility. And when there was like one kind of main entrance and a stoplight near the main entrance. Well, when people are going in, you can hand out literature while vehicles are stopped. So Amazon took out the traffic light. So the cars no longer stopped at that stoplight. So the union people couldn't pass out their information there. Amazon just randomly were like, oh, this traffic light, we just decided we don't need it anymore. They took it out so that people couldn't stop people to give them information. And then when this mailbox was being used randomly, there were 2 days where huge vote dumps happened. And on those particular days of these big vote dumps, they were like 90% no, which was a little random and not super probable. But so that was sort of like, okay, that's kind of shady. Here's what really adds to that shadiness. And here's the more recent development. Amazon had a key to that mailbox. So Amazon themselves were accessing that mailbox to get the ballots, and they had it the entire time. It's not like they just opened it at the end or that it was a third party who was just doing the counting, opening it. No, it was Amazon themselves who had full access throughout the duration of this mailbox that the labor board was against going in the first place. So I don't see how these results can stand.
It's unbelievable. Like when you hear a story of like some, robber baron back in the 1920s taking away a stoplight, you go, God, that's so nuts. That would never happen. I mean, it's too obvious today. Oh, no. They just did it. Like this is old school, like slashing tire, just like unbelievable, like kind of crap. This is Jeff Bezos is allowing this happen. The richest man in the history of the world, who could pay all of his employees a fantastic union wage, give them health care. He would still be one of the richest people in the world.
Yeah, probably still the richest. I mean, yes. He'd probably still be. I mean, he is on his way to become a trillionaire. He could easily, and he just chooses not to because, I mean, you're a sociopath. I mean, you gotta be. Like, you can't. To become a billionaire, you either directly or indirectly, like, people get screwed over. And, the only reason I say indirectly is because, like, people like Paul McCartney, George Lucas, they are billionaires. Mm-hmm. I don't think Paul McCartney, necessarily did anything directly, but look at the music industry. Look at all the artists who weren't compensated fairly for songs that they wrote because of the color of their skin. That happened generationally. I'm not saying that's Paul McCartney's fault. I mean, of course it isn't. He's not even a United States citizen. How can you blame him for systemic racism in a country he doesn't even live in? But he benefited from that unjust system. And if it wasn't for that unjust system, he wouldn't be a billionaire. He'd be very rich, but he wouldn't be a billionaire. Same with George Lucas. If it wasn't for all the injustices in the movie industry, that guy wouldn't be a billionaire. He'd still be very rich. And also, a lot more people also got screwed over for George Lucas to become a billionaire. Namely, everybody who saw Attack of the Clones in the theater. I mean, let's start there.
Well, I mean, that's a whole separate issue to talk about the war crimes of the prequels. Those I mean, he needs to be brought up at The Hague for that. And I don't acknowledge those movies. They're not Star Wars movies. They are educational videos that about international trade tariffs that students watch who are studying economics at the University of Naboo. So
I actually thought the third one was okay, but I'm sure you disagree.
1,000%. But anyway,
it was better than the first two, at least.
Oh, Ron, are you kidding me? You hear what you just said?
Better than the first. It was better than those. It was better than a new or not. What was the first? Phantom Menace, right? That was like the first one. Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, right. And then the third one that I think is okay, but forget the name of. I think Episode 3, whatever it was called. You didn't think the Vader Obi-Wan fight scene was kind of cool? Like, you didn't even think that was kind of cool?
I think I fell asleep, Ron. Like, I can't. I mean, kind of cool, fine. He finally becomes Vader. But like saying it wasn't as bad. I mean, this is we're in the lesser of two evils. Like,
I'm lesser of two evilings. I'm lesser of three evils. The originals, the new. Well, they weren't the original. They were, the later prequels. I'm lesser of three evils. I think that the third one is and I would say the third one's not quite evil. I thought it was an okay movie. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was okay. Now, how excited were you on a scale of 1 to 11? 1 being super excited, 11 being like, I shit my pants twice, when they just brought back the Emperor for no reason. Were you stoked? Weren't you stoked? Didn't you love that? Wasn't that like your favorite moment ever?
Sure, Ron. I want to have a general strike against the prequels, but that's a different segment. So
bringing the Emperor back was a far greater assault than the prequels. I would say that was the ultimate worst, I think.
Yeah, I can't even. discuss the prequels. But anyway, back to labor issues in America. You bring up a valid point about George Lucas. And so let me ask you this now, since all these revelations are coming out, I've seen like independent media is talking about these revelations of what Amazon did to thwart a union being formed because Jeff Bezos is a sociopath. But I'm not seeing a lot of it in the corporate media. I haven't watched that much corporate media recently, but is it being covered at all? And I mean, do you think there's any legs to this, like Amazon being held accountable, which is kind of hard because they can just pay and have this done and have it go in their favor?
I haven't seen a lot of coverage at all, to tell you the truth. I mean, now that being said, I'm not watching cable news much, but I haven't seen this covered very much at all. I mean, I found an article in Bloomberg of all places, and I know that Democracy Now! Did a segment on it, but I don't know who else did, if anyone. And I talked about it on Get Your News On with Ron, but I mean, I think it's tough because, I mean, really, Amazon still has so much authority, and they've demonstrated their willingness to just thumb their nose at the labor board. So I feel like without some type of legal action, I don't see how the workers can really do anything. Now, that being said, I think if they had a decent labor attorney, there's so much here that they can get this puppy overturned. I mean, all the stuff that we mentioned. I mean, and there's even more. Like it's pretty. I mean, they were kind of, yelling about this stuff while it was going on. So I think that, with the right help, like they could get this thing overturned. Especially if someone like the ACLU would step in and loan their, kind of throw their weight behind it. So whether or not that'll happen, it's tough to say.
It is tough to say. I hope though, but and I think Amazon, why they're probably fighting so hard is they realize that if this happens and the workers in Alabama get a union, then every Amazon plant, every shipping warehouse everyone's going to go, oh, well, damn, they got it. We're going to get it, and Amazon knows this. And that's why they spent $1.5 million to try to prevent Kashama Sawant from winning. That's why they fired Chris Smalls. I mean, that's why they just, at every turn, they took out a stoplight because they're just such parasites. And God forbid a bunch of their employees are taken care of and have decent wages and can feed their families and have health care and have a retirement plan. Oh God, well, that'll be the end of the world. And that bald psycho can't ride around in another private jet. Which he's just what he could literally make millions of people's lives better and doesn't
care. I mean, he doesn't. It's amazing. And here's the thing too, man. We have for at least 60 years now, and probably going even further back than that. Unions have really been defanged as far as numbers of people in them, as far as how they're kind of organized and constructed. And sometimes you really do see corruption because they appoint people to head the unions that don't really have the workers' interest at heart. I'm not saying there aren't still good unions out there. Of course there are, nor am I saying this happens all the time. But through a long effort that I think they started doing this in the 60s, trying to take power away from the unions, because when unions were powerful, we had a really strong middle class. So they started gutting unions slowly but surely. And now I think it's like less than, I think it's about 11% of the workforce is in a union. And, some unions are stronger than others. But if you start seeing a new wave of unions, and it kind of just redefines what it really means to be in a union, because I think a lot of people, if you're, in the workforce now, you've never really experienced firsthand what all a union can do for you. You've just been fed anti-union propaganda your entire working life. You don't really know the potential of what a union can do for you when it's really acting in your interest and how you help frame it. So, that could lead to an entire really evolution in the work culture in this country that in some ways is going to take us back to what we used to have, but in a good way.
Yeah, it's more people. I mean, we saw it during the pandemic. I mean, we saw America learned and woke up to what an essential worker really is. And you heard about all these people trying to form unions in food processing plants and all these essential workers, and the nurses union going, this ain't right how we're being treated in various cities. And people like Cuomo getting exposed for not only being a sex creep, but also he eviscerated the hospitals and unions in New York for a decade, and it made more people die. So is that Lucy?
Yeah, she's really concerned about this. Yeah, I didn't know if you could hear her or not. I'm like, she's being loud. Yeah, I don't know what her deal is. It's not time for her to eat yet, so I don't know.
Well, she's pro-union.
She is pro-union. She's a very pro-union cat. I think she's meowing solidarity. She probably wants to play or something. I'll play with her. Once the show's over. You can come sit on my lap if you want. She was on my lap earlier. You couldn't even tell because she just kind of like chills there. But she might want to play because I watched the hockey game earlier, which I think my cat at this point has a positive like response to hockey because she just knows, oh, Ron's gonna just be on the couch for a while, and that makes for some good nap time. He just gets on the couch and he doesn't move. And sometimes he yells in a happy way and other times he yells in a not happy way. But as long as he doesn't move, that doesn't bother me. So she probably she napped throughout at least 2 periods of the game today. So she probably wants to play.
All right.
That's good.
Well, let me answer a couple of tips and then we'll do
we gotta do our thing.
We gotta do You Should Know This. MHC, thank you for supporting the show at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Remember now, if you become a Rockfin premium member, you get my premium content, Ron's, Annalise Garcia, Status Coup, Jimmy Dore, Lee Camp, Kim Iverson, Convo Couch, Whitney Webb, Richard Medhurst, Abby Martin just joined, Dave Anthony's there. The list goes on and on.
Status Coup.
Yep. I remember hearing that the cruise ships passing through Venice would wreak havoc with the plumbing in many of the buildings they sailed past, not to mention any more gradual damage they were causing. So I imagine them not crossing through the city is definitely a positive development for people living there. That's good to hear.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, I mean, Venice, which, by the way, one of my favorite places I've ever been. Venice is so freaking cool. But yeah, I know they need... I think there's some upgrades they really need to look into.
Yeah, I mean, God, when I was there,
I don't know all the details, but
I was there maybe 17, 18 years ago, and they were doing all this construction of prop buildings up and stuff like that. So, Bill Nye,
that's another place that's badass, man. Venice is, I mean, we're talking about Livorno's a pretty bad. Venice has like... I had this Italian professor when I was in college who was like, he was really into like punk rock music and stuff. So we hit it off pretty good. And he would tell me stories, and he was kind of, I think he was a little bit of a bullshitter, but he told me this story where like Fugazi, the band Fugazi, got into a fist fight with a bunch of Italian communists over like some like political debate they were having. That was Fugazi is a pretty lefty band, so I don't know like what the specific disagreements were all about, but they were having a conversation about something, and it broke out into a fist fight. According to this guy, I don't know how true that is, but it's a fun story.
True. I love that. I hope that Fugazi had a communist fist fight in Italy. I hope that's what happened. Bill Nye, the highest guy. You're making Gotham great again. Israel has become the fascist ethno-state it was created to be a refuge from. Also, all forms of resistance by the Palestinians are legitimate under international law as an occupied people. Oh, wow. Another good point. Yeah, Israel's constantly breaking international law every day. Chimchuri, shave your knuckles for justice. Regarding Palestinian rockets killing Israelis, a slave owner who, through cunning and violence, shackles a slave in chains, and a slave who, through cunning and violence, breaks the change. Let not the contemptible eunuchs tell us that. Excuse me. The contemptible eunuchs tell us that they are equals before a court of morality. Leon Trotsky, the morals, their morals and ours. Ooh, nice. Marxist archive. Outstanding. Kate, our moderator, show Kate some love. Shave your knuckles for less. If the proposed minimum wage increases aren't tied to inflation, this will have to happen again in like 5 years. This is the new Gilded Age. Yacht my yacht. Absolutely correct. Andrew D, what's up? Shave your knuckles for justice. Andrew, thank you for supporting the show. Doc Terminus, hello Doc. Shave your knuckles, my friend. Beating Amazon with the support of every other large American company and politician and Wall Street backing them in court is about the chance Bob Ross has if Bain doesn't show up and he's forced to fight Granny on an unfamiliar yacht. Sure, he is former military, but that's not a day of happy accidents for Bob. We've had a ongoing discussion on this show who would win in a yacht fight, Bain versus Granny Petrol, and so it's quite intriguing because ever since I've done the yacht story, we're talking about how many yachts you should have and who would win in a yacht fight. So it's a pretty good stuff we're covering,
dude. Speaking of movies that were really disappointing, how disappointing was it in that one Batman movie where Bane was the bad guy and he didn't even fight Batman, and like it was the weakest fight ever between him and Robin? Do you remember that?
Which Batman movie is this?
Dude, this was like, I want to say it was Batman and Robin.
Oh,
which was pretty bad.
Batman and Robin is such a bad movie.
It's very bad.
It is heresy, that movie.
I agree. Yeah, I can't even try to. I mean, I know we disagree on some of the Burton ones, but yeah, no disagreement on Batman and Robin.
It was really bad. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. We got 267 likes. Let's get that up to 300. Ron, what do you say? Are you ready for a little anything can happen?
I'm ready, man.
You should know this.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and welcome to Anything Can Happen, the political vigilante game show with Ron Placone. We're going to do our favorite segment. You should know this. Ron Placone knows a lot about music. I don't. He will name a lyric from a song, and I should probably know this. And then, of course, I know a lot about movies, and Ron has only seen 4 movies in his lifetime. So I'll name a line from a movie, and Ron will have to try to figure out who it is. So get ready for You Should Know This. It'd be cool if we had some graphics pop up. Boom. You should know this. Bam, boom, boom, boom.
Just a brain.
Yeah.
Being filled with like a music note and then like a movie. That's what we need.
I don't know, Ron. Can you do 2 rounds of You Should Know This?
I can do 2 rounds. Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. So, Ron, you go first. What should I know? Ron Placone.
Mommy's all right. Daddy's all right. They just seem a little weird.
This is Don't Turn Yourself Away.
Yeah.
Cheap Trick.
Yeah. You got it. Cheap Trick, man. It's one of my favorite Cheap Trick tunes.
It's
well, some people only know I Want You to Want Me. And Surrender is like their other kind of big hit that goes a little, comparatively speaking, a little under the radar. So
there's this little window in the 70s when I was like a 9 to 10, 11, 12 years old, where they're like, my older brothers and sisters were listening to they were super into music. They got albums. They went to all the concerts. I never did, but there were certain like albums or songs they would play that I liked and I clicked with. So I kind of like remember them and go, oh yeah. And Cheap Trick is definitely one of them.
Cheap Trick's great, man. They're great. I got to see them. It was actually random. The way I saw them, they opened for Aerosmith. It was like Cheap Trick. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty cool show. And the audience was like not a super Cheap Trick audience, which it's kind of like, that's a bummer. Like when you're at like a stadium show and like the audience is sort of not feeling an act, but you are, like you feel like it feels kind of weird. Like you almost feel like you're in like a grocery store and you're like digging the song that's on and everyone else is like,
Yeah.
what the hell's wrong with you? You know, like you're like, ah no, this is great. This is, you know, like don't stop. And they're like, I'm just looking for carrots. You know, like that's what it feels like. And like, you know what I mean? And so like me, and I mean, there were definitely some people really digging on Cheap Trick, but like a lot of people just kind of weren't for whatever reason. And so they came back out thinking they were going to do an encore, but like they come back out and they notice like some people were already like just kind of talking and their back was like to the stage and stuff. So the lead singer just kind of like looked at the audience and just see here, I got to do it in the camera. He just goes like this, like just kind of like, ah. And then they walk off stage. Yeah. They walk off stage. And so it was still a great show. I mean, they did a great show, but yeah, it was kind of I was looking forward to that Cheap Trick encore that didn't happen. But they couldn't hear me yelling from the lawn seats. It's just like, I approve. I am ready for more music.
And some of those bands I've seen, like I remember Dave Grohl did his like birthday party at the Forum about 4 or 5 years ago. And he just brought up all these musicians. It was so good. This is why living in LA is so fun, man. It's because of stuff like this.
Yeah,
you deal with the traffic and the brush fires and all the other crazy shit. But then Dave Grohl just has a birthday party at the Forum and then brings on like, you know, this young musician. And then he's like, oh, here's David Lee Roth. And here's just like, they just come out and jam with him. And you're just like, here's Eddie, you know, whatever. It was just like amazing. And I think he brought out one of the guys from Cheap Trick.
Oh, probably.
Cause he was just like, oh, I grew up watching these guys and I just, you know, hey, do you want to come play my birthday party in an arena? And they're like, yeah. Like, so it was super
I
cool.
was at a show in LA once where the unannounced special guest was John Williams. John Williams freaking showed up. And they're like, we got a special treat tonight. And John Williams just freaking walks out. And then he just takes the conductor stick and he just goes. And then the orchestra goes, da-da-da. And you're like, holy shit, yeah. The Star Wars theme. He's doing the Star Wars theme. It was, yeah.
Dude, I remember.
So cool.
It's that is the thing about LA. I have so many. Here's another great version of that. When Prince is before they redid the Forum to make it a music only venue, and they redid it the Forum to make it a music only, and now it's like the acoustics are phenomenal because a lot of musicians are like the acoustics aren't great in the Staples Center. It's more of a sports arena, and so when the Forum was just sitting there. And I think they were doing this like Sunday church service and Prince was like a part of that. So he did this like residency at the Forum. The tickets were $25 and he did like a month worth of shows or something. And it was like, my friend, like, dude, I'm like, let's do it. And we saw Prince. And so like Janelle Monáe comes out. It was before she blew up. And we're like, who is that? She's amazing. And then he's like, hey, you guys, I have a friend of mine to do this piano song. Stevie Wonder comes out and starts playing. And we're just like, this Stevie Wonder. You're like, oh, what the fuck is the Stevie? Like, it was just, and that shit happens all the time in LA. That's like, when I would go like to the Sparks games, I was a Sparks season ticket holder. And then like, oh, Magic Johnson was a part owner in the team. And you'd be like, oh, there's Magic Johnson. He's right there. He's right there watching the game. Like, yeah. Oh, I love that stuff. Okay. The movie I'm picking, is relevant to your musical selection.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Well, I've been thinking about this, being that you're here and I'm here. Isn't it really our time? So what's wrong with having some pizza and learning about Cuba?
Oh. Having some pizza and learning about Cuba. And it has something to do with Cheap Trick, apparently, or something to do with, oh, geez. All right. Since it's our time.
I'll give you this hint. Cheap Trick is mentioned in the movie.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get this one.
It is a quintessential LA movie. Since we were talking about cool things that happen in LA.
Okay. Huh. All right. I don't think this is one of the 4 I've seen. Ooh, quintessential LA movie. Oh,
Don't look at the chat because they're
no,
good.
I'm not. I know they all know, and I should really know this, but I'm having a like brain, like, yeah. Like there's a couple titles I want to say off the top of my head, but I know they're all wrong. And I'm like, that's not, yeah. Isn't it our time? Why can't we have some pizza and learn about Cuba? Quintessential LA. Cheap Trick is mentioned.
It's the 80s.
80s? Okay.
The movie came out in the 80s. And you want me to give the line where they mention Cheap Trick?
Sure. That might help.
Don't you remember the magic? Your mama's all right. Your daddy's all right. Remember, surrender, surrender.
So they sing the song. That's how you knew this song.
Yes.
It was in that movie you like. That's from the 80s. And oh, wait a second. Is Tom Cruise in it? No.
No.
I wanted to say Top Gun. I know that was wrong though.
That's not Top Gun.
It's not Top Gun. Okay. Is that close?
This is so fantastic. All right. I'll say this. It takes place in the 80s, and there's a lot of young actors in it who some of whom became kind of big.
All right.
The guy who says the first line about having some pizza and learning about Cuba, he became a very big actor.
Very big actor. Okay. Shit. Okay. And this is 80s. And this is, geez, quintessential LA. I'm trying to think like LA centric. It's our time. Singing Cheap Trick. A lot of young actors. Oh man. I'm drawing a blank, man. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
God, there's this. But I think about it, there's several actors that became really big in this. You want me to give you?
Give me one more hint.
Well, this isn't the person who said the line I gave you, but Forrest Whitaker is in it.
I wish I could say that helps me, but that I'm still, yeah. It's not City Slickers, is it? That kind of, I mean, that was the 80s at least, right? I get like the,
where in LA did that take place?
No, I mean, yeah, good point. That's fair. I mean, it's been
I think they're from New York, right? Aren't they New Yorkers that go out? That's why it's called City Slickers.
Yeah, fair. Okay. LA, Falling Down. That's my final guess.
A fantastic LA movie, although it came out in
it was 91, I think.
91, yeah.
I think, yeah. See, I know that.
Do you want the name of the actor who said the line?
Go ahead. Yeah. Name of the. I'm still not going to get this.
Sean Penn.
Oh man. Okay. I should. Oh, it's bad. I don't know this because now I'm like kind of seeing this in my head. I do know the movie you're talking about, like, but the title is not coming to me. Yeah, I give up.
dude, my dad has an awesome set of tools. He can fix this. It's the way to go, Hamilton. It's his iconic role that it was his breakout role. Spicoli, the stoner.
Wait, what's the name of the movie? It's
You
not
want
called.
me to give
Yeah, what's
what?
the name of the movie?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, it's so bad I didn't know that. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Fast Time. All right. Which I have not seen, but I have.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I got to see that movie, but yeah. I know. That's bad. I got to see that movie, but yeah. That's like one of those classics that you know about, but I've never seen. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
It takes place in the 80s in the San Fernando Valley. I mean, it is, they shot it. It came out in the 80s. It was based on a book. A journalist went undercover. Forrest Whitaker plays the football player who just plays a psycho. And Spicoli is just this stoner. Hey, I know that guy. He comes in and Mr. Hand is the teacher. And there's the time where Spicoli orders pizza to be delivered into the class. And and he's like, well, I was thinking about this, Mr. Hand, being that I'm here and you're here, wouldn't it be our time? So what's wrong with having some pizza and learning about Cuba?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
It's Phoebe Cates is in it. Judge Reinhold is in it. Jennifer Jason Leigh is in it. And Damone is the guy. He plays a ticket scalper, and he's always like, hey man, he talks in this cool voice, and he's like, there's a scene where somebody walks up and he's trying to sell Cheap Trick tickets, and he's like, don't you remember the magic? Your mama's all right, your daddy's all right, surrender, right? It's a great movie.
Dude, yes. Fast. I never would have like guessed that. Like I just never would have. I mean, as soon as you said it, I was like, yes, but yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Tom, do you know the name of the Tom Cruise movie you were thinking of?
I think it was Top Gun. No, wait. What's the one where he flies planes?
That's Top Gun. That's Top Gun.
Yeah, I was thinking Top Gun. Where he dances in his underwear and he flies planes and he says, "I love."
Those are
Katie
two
Holmes.
movies. Those are two.
Oh, those are
movies.
different.
Yeah,
Oh.
the dancing in his underwear.
Which one's that? That might have been the one I was thinking of.
Well, I'm gonna use that one later when we play this game because
that's Mission Impossible, right? That's where he.
Yes, that's correct. He dances in underwear in Mission Impossible. Absolutely.
He dances in his underwear and says, "Show me the money," and then the guy plays football. That's that movie. It's all the same movie.
Basically, you're right.
And then he says, "I love Katie Holmes," and the movie just ends.
Yeah, and then he tries to blow up Hitler. It's like all the Tom Cruise movies are all the same, pretty much. They're all
it's all that one thing.
This is like playing You Should Know This with Joe Biden. You know, the thing, the guy with the thing.
What's this? They should have called it Malarkey at Ridgemont High. I would have gotten it. I'd have guessed it.
Malarkey at Ridgemont High. Fuck.
Oh, no.
Starring Joe Biden and Sean Penn. Malarkey at Ridgemont High. All right, buddy. Let me read a couple. Let's go. Let's do another round. You want to do another round?
All right. Yeah, I got. So this one, admittedly, Graham, this one's a little tougher, but this song, I'll give you a couple hints surrounding it. First of all, it's a hip hop song, and it was the big kind of post 9/11 anti-war song that dropped and went very, this was like this was around that time. So this song just became, everybody had it on. I want to say this was still when Napster was a thing. So this thing went, viral as like the way you would go viral then.
Okay.
So here's One of my favorite lines from it, coming live from my own funeral, beautiful weather offered a nice shine, which is suitable for a view of a forever altered skyline. It's times like these I freestyle biased opinions every other sentence. My journalistic ethics slip when I pass them off as objective. Don't give me that ethical shit.
Is this that Green Day song?
Well, I said hip hop.
Oh, hip hop. Oh, sorry. Is this Tom Cruise's band?
This is Tom Cruise. Yeah, this is on the soundtrack of the money football thing. Where he does
this is that song he did in his underwear when he was flying.
He dances in his underwear to this. And then he sings it. He's like, don't give me that ethical shit.
All right. Okay. All right. So it's hip hop.
Hip hop post 9/11. So think like early 2000s. Definitely not Green Day. Although Green Day was also making music then.
I'm just thinking that one Green Day song is like, see Kyle to the resident, that bombs away. That song was pretty anti-war.
Yeah, it was. Well, that whole album was pretty anti-war. American Idiot.
Okay, so this is hip hop right after 9/11, early 2000s. This isn't Outkast Bombs Over Baghdad, is it?
No, but I feel like you're not as big of a name as Outkast, but this song was kind of like it was everywhere when it dropped. And it came out like right after 9/11, but it really kind of grew for a couple years.
So who was big in the early 2000s? Tupac and Biggie were dead, unfortunately, because Tupac would have had a lot of shit to say about the wars if he was still alive. Which is probably why LAPD had him killed. Great documentary, by the way. Or not even documentary, actually scripted movie with oh God, I'm blanking on his name. It's on Netflix or HBO or no, I think it was Apple Movies. Johnny Depp plays the detective. Anyway, all right. Early 2000s, anti-wars playing everywhere. Hip hop. Not as big as Outkast, you're saying.
Not as big as Outkast. No, not quite. But it's like this was one of those songs where it was like, he got in a little bit of trouble for it because a lot of, this was at the time where like people were banning the Dixie Chicks and stuff like that. But a lot of people also were kind of here. I'll do a couple more. Let me find like one of my like favorite. It's hip hop, so I kind of have to I can't. The melting pot seems to be calling the kettle black when it boils over, but only on our own soil. So the little boy holds a toy soldier and waits for the suit and tie to come home. We won't wait till he's older. Before we destroy hopes for a colder war to end, now we get a close-up of his head.
Oh, man. These are great lyrics. I don't know who.
Here, I'll give you part of the chorus. The flag shop is out of stock. I hang myself at half-mast.
Wait, is this Eminem?
No, not Eminem. But it's I can tell you it's a white rapper.
So it's Macklemore.
It's not Macklemore. I think this is 2001. I mean, that's pre-Macklemore, I think.
He was like 12.
Yeah.
Well, I think I just named the only two white rappers that I'm aware of. I'm
looking at the chat. Someone said Kid Rock. Someone got it. Maybe this might have been a little, but it was so huge at the time, and it was like such a big anti-war thing. You want me? I'll just tell you. It's Sage Francis, Makeshift Patriot.
Okay, I never would have got that in 1,000 years. I've heard the song maybe, but Sage Francis is one of those songs like
really?
I've never heard it. I don't know. Maybe.
Dude, you got to check out Sage Francis then.
Okay.
Yeah, check out Sage Francis. It's Makeshift Patriot is the song, and it's like if you heard it, you would be like, oh yeah, I've heard this song before.
Okay.
Like if
There's
you
a bunch
heard,
of songs like that out there that
yeah,
I'm like,
where you'd
oh,
be
okay.
like, yeah,
And I couldn't tell you the name of the band or what person in it, but I've heard the song.
he's great. Yeah. But yeah, that might have been that was a little tough one, I guess. But you should know it.
It's not tough. I should know it. It's like
Well, that's definitely a deeper cut than Cheap Trick. You know, like Cheap Trick is so I was like, I'll do a deeper cut. You know, see if he, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Cheap Trick though, that could have fallen into the Jethro Tull category that I couldn't remember. I was trying to figure that one. It took me forever to get that one.
Yeah, I mean Jethro Tull is kind of like one of those. They go under the radar a lot unless you're like Aqualung. You know, like then it's like people are gonna, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching, you should know this. Subscribe to us and go to rockfin.com and we do a premium members exclusive live stream Monday nights at 8:00 Pacific time. All right. Here is you should know this. All right. I try to like tie them into whatever one you pick if I can. Because sometimes I'll prepare one, but sometimes I like to sort of tie it in. But okay, so you did it an anti-war. Okay. Wait a minute. Well, okay. Don't worry about little old Don Segretti. You're missing the point.
Don Segretti. Don't worry about little old Don Segretti. You're missing the point. Okay. This is a character named Don Segretti, apparently. Or that's a reference I'm just not catching in the moment. You're missing the I feel like I should know this. Well, I guess that's the theme. Don't worry about little Don's. You're missing the point. Ah, shit. Is it what era are we talking for this one?
70s.
Oh, okay. All right. It's not what I thought then. I was thinking, okay, 70s. Deer Hunter.
Ooh. Good anti-war movie. Excellent anti-war movie, but not this. This is indirectly an anti-war movie. It deals with corruption.
Okay. Huh. I think I'll just go to that list of anti-war movies you told me I need to see that I wrote down. One of them's gonna be the right answer. I'm trying to find it. I'm like, where's that list? I wrote down all these movies that I have to see. Three Dog Night.
Three Dog Night. That's a band, Ron.
Oh shit, you're right. There's a movie that sounds like that though. What's the movie that sounds like that?
3 Days of the Condor.
That's what I was thinking. It's not that.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's very similar in that it has one of the lead actors is in both movies.
Oh, all right. So I'm getting warmer.
And it's the same era, same sort of cover up government conspiracy. I'll tell you what.
It's not Dr. Strangelove because that was 60s. Oh,
no.
It is Dr. Strangelove?
No, but that's a great call. I'll tell you what. The two movies, the one that I mentioned and Three Dog Night, one of them is based on a true story?
Okay. All right. So it's based on a true story. Don't worry about Don Cifaretti. You're missing the point. Anti-war movie. Based on a true
Anti-corruption.
anti-corruption.
I wouldn't focus on war. So, I mean, it's relatable, but it's.
Star Wars Episode 7. Star Wars Episode 7. Is it
where Tom Cruise is in underwear and Emperor
Tom
Palpatine.
Cruise is dancing in his underwear.
Yep, that's it.
Flying the Millennium Falcon. That's what he did. Listening to Sage Francis. That's how I remember.
That's it. Star Wars Top Gun.
All right, so I know it's not Citizen Kane because that was made in 1941.
Yes,
I wrote that down. I don't.
Do you know who's in Three Dog Night? 3 Days of the
band?
Condor?
No, I don't. I haven't seen it. I have to see that one. It's a long list for me. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna get this one.
All right. Well, there is a movie that is an anti-war movie that involves the movie that I'm mentioning and the anti-war movie both involve a newspaper.
A newspaper. Okay. Are you?
And
you're not
a cover.
That's not a line from Network, is it?
Oh wow, another great movie. No.
Okay.
But you're in the same area. I mean, this is like all these movies came out around the same time. They had
okay. All right. But it's not Network. Yeah. I mean, Network is a movie I know. Like I've seen Network. Like that's a brilliant movie.
But remember now, the movie I'm talking. I'll even refine the clue. The movie I'm quoting is based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Anti-corruption, 70s, Tom Cruise dancing in his underwear.
What was the other clue I gave you?
It's not 3 Days of the Concorde. Whatever that title is. Anti-corruption 70s.
Two actors, both huge names, and really both were blowing up in the 70s with a bunch of amazing movies.
You're missing the point. You're missing.
And it involves a newspaper.
It involves a newspaper. It involves a newspaper. Wait, what's that? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Is there a significant event of true story of uncovering corruption in the 70s that involved a newspaper?
Like,
well, they made a movie about it.
Wait, in the 70s?
Yes.
When was? Wait, you're not talking Watergate? Like, was it? Because that was. You are like, wasn't that? Was that 72? Right.
Watergate was 1972. Yes. So this movie came out a couple years after that.
So Watergate. You're not talking Nixon, are you? That didn't come out. Yeah.
Now the Nixon movie came out
that came out like way later,
5-10 years ago.
But you're talking.
It's about that.
It's about that. Oh, okay.
Now the chat is blowing up. A lot of people didn't quite
sure they are
in the chat, but now everyone's like, okay.
Now everyone's like, yeah, okay. So Watergate movie in the 70s. I don't think I knew there was a Watergate movie in the 70s. I didn't know they acted on it that quick. God bless them.
This is so great. This
Watergate-
is literally like not knowing The Godfather. This is so great.
Probably. Watergate movie of the 70s. Forrest Gump. I knew it.
Hi, Nixon. Do you want a box of chocolates?
I'd like to see that wound, young man. I showed him my butt talks. See, I know some movies. You're going to say the name and I'll be like, oh, God, how did I not? Yeah, but.
This is like, I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to give you this last. I'm going to give you this last clue. It has. So 3 Days of the Condor stars Robert Redford.
Yes.
As does this movie.
The Natural.
Yes, where an aging baseball player uncovers the Watergate scandal. That's so cool. That's amazing.
They benched him, so he did Watergate. I've seen that movie. Thank you, Roy Hobbs, for saving our democracy. That's how I remember it. No, dude, I'm not going to think of the title, but I do know this movie. My parents had it on VHS.
Yes, they
did. It's going to drive me nuts. They had it on VHS, and I'm like,
it won a bunch of Oscars.
It's not called The River, is it? That's a Springsteen song. No, as soon as you say it, I'm going to, because my parents have this movie on VHS, and I'm aware of this movie, but I am not thinking, the title's not hitting me.
Somebody put in the chat, Every Which Way But Loose. Oh my God, it's a Clint Eastwood movie where he has an orangutan that fights people. It's fantastic. No, it's not. Yeah, Tom Cruise is in that. Yes, Tom Cruise is in that. This movie is, it was the movie that captured the most significant corruption of the time. And it stars Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. And the movie is called, they play two actual people, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
The movie is All the President's Men.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yes. My parents have that on VHS. Yes. Yeah. I remember that video as I see it now. Yeah. And I just was not, the title. I was like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. The title is not going to hit me. Add
this to your list of movies to watch because it is a fantastic movie. It is. And I just rewatched it again and it holds up and it's like, it is great. It shows like, oh, wow. Remember when newspapers were did actual investigative journalism and they weren't owned by the CIA like they are now? Like it's really, and then there's a great, and then I'm blanking on the actor's name who played Ben Bradley. These are all real people. Ben Bradley, who was the senior editor at the Washington Post. So watch the documentary, Jason Robards, somebody put in the chat. Thank you so much. Jason Robards is another fine actor. And all these great character actors. Hal Holbrook plays Deep Throat. That's the actor who said, don't think about little old Don Segretti. So then there's a great documentary about Ben Bradley. It's just, he was like old school newspaper man, journalist, and Tom Hanks plays him in the movie about the Pentagon Papers that came out a couple years ago. I think that movie was called The Paper. No, that's not right. Anyway. It's watch All the President's Men and then watch the documentary about Ben Bradley that I think is on Netflix.
Maybe I will, man. I got a long list. I'm slowly whittling away at it. Last movie I watched, I actually enjoyed very much. It was called Moxie.
Oh, okay.
Amy Poehler. It was an Amy Poehler movie.
Nice.
It's a cool movie.
So the Tom Hanks movie that I was referencing that also has Meryl Streep in is called The Post.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
That came out. So that's why I was referencing, because they're both about the Washington Post. And these are the Pentagon Papers. And I think the timeline is the Post, the Pentagon Papers came out after Watergate. So that's the other thing that's critical about All the President's Men and in the documentary with Ben Bradley is the Washington Post was this small little paper that everyone's like, who's the Washington Post? Who the hell are they? What do they have? What do they have about Watergate? It's crazy.
Yeah, well, they used to. Again, they used to be newspapers.
Yeah,
there was a time.
No, it's you watch.
I've read about this. I've read about this. I never lived through this, but I've read about it.
It's
and they were making movies about it. Graham, did you know that?
Wow,
they made movies about this stuff.
No, I didn't know that. Was it with the Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise is in a lot of them. There's a famous line where Tom Cruise he's dancing around and he's like, I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore. Get my helicopter. And then,
well, I'm glad you know that movie because I would have quoted that movie for sure. I would have.
No, you know what, dude? My like it's like when I know a classic, or I'm just clueless. I have no like 50%. There's no middle ground. There really isn't. Like it's like Cradle Will Rock. I can talk that movie with the best of them. And that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. Network, totally. You know, and then there's a few cult classes that I like. You know, I like Falling Down a lot. I know that's just kind of is what it is, but I love that movie. And then you know, I can talk Fight Club with anyone. I can talk Clockwork Orange with anyone. I can talk like, but then it's like I have my my spots where I never watch this, and I'm not very good with titles. Like I'm not very good at coming up with them or remembering them.
Well, yeah, Network's fantastic. If you watch Network, they basically predicted what happened to television and media. I mean, they predicted it. It's insane back in the 70s.
Same with Cradle Will Rock, man. I mean, that was like what, you know, and that was all when like a lot of anti-capitalistic art was common.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, in both those cases. And I hope we're entering an era where we're going to get back to that. I feel like that's, you know, best case scenario with where we're at in the world.
So do I. Well, Ron Placone, thank you for taking time out of your day to come on the You Should Know This version of Anything Can Happen.
Yes.
And good having you as always. Where can people watch your stuff? You got any shows coming up or anything?
You can follow me at 3dognight.com. No, I'm just kidding. You can follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone. I'm also on all the socials at Ron Placone. And youtube.com/Ron Placone is my YouTube channel. And by the way, I got to give a shout out to Kate because Kate is the person who put the Richard Hell album, Blank Generation, back in my head. Like I spaced on it one time on this show and she reminded me of it. And I gave it a much needed revisit. And since then, I recently dropped a video where I made a parody song. I don't know if you saw this when it went viral, but they started calling my generation. They started referring to us as geriatric millennials, which is funny. And I got to give a shout out. This is actually, I saw this on Facebook and one of my exes from college posted this, a girl that I dated in college that, you know, like we're still friends or whatever. She posted this, and I'm sure other people did too, but I'll give the credit to her because that's where I saw it first. She said, "Why would you call us geriatric millennials? It's right there. Just call us millennials." like it's right there. But anyway, they also named us the Oregon Trail generation, even though generations before us were also playing Oregon Trail. But I guess we were the ones that were really into it, so they called us the Oregon Trail generation. So I made a parody song. Instead of the Blank Generation, I did the Oregon Trail generation, and you can catch that video on my YouTube channel right now. I dropped it yesterday. So that's on my YouTube channel, Oregon Trail Generation. Check it out, and it's based off of Richard Hell's Blank Generation.
Outstanding. Well, Ron Placone, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude. We appreciate it, and we'll see you. We'll see you soon, and hopefully we'll be announcing road dates soon.
Absolutely. Be well.
All right, buddy. Later. Ron Placone, everybody. Check him out. on our and check out his program. Of course, I'm doing stand-up. My first headline shows in over 15 months. May 30th in Waikiki at the Blue Note in Waikiki on the beautiful island of Oahu, Hawaii. So if you're in Hawaii, come to the show. If you're thinking about taking a trip, come out and do it. It'll be a blast. Go to grahamelwood.com for my tour dates. I'm going to read the rest of the tips over on rockfin.com and also see if there's anybody on Venmo. And then we're going to get on out of here. What a fun show, man. It's great just having Ron on the show. The guest thing was kind of on me. I didn't schedule it right or whatever, but kind of happy accident. Then Ron and I got to just talk and goof off. Let me check Venmo to see if there's anybody who donate. You can donate to @Graham-Elwood. Also, if you go to grahamelwood.com, there's Political Vigilante merchandise, which supports the show. There's a PayPal button and tickets to my May 30th shows. There's 2 shows, 6:30 and 9, I think. All right. There we go. That was fun. We talked some politics. We made each other laugh. Good stuff. Annabelle Corley, what's up down under, Annabelle? I can't wait to get back to Australia. Best concert I have been to, Iggy Pop at the Palace Theatre in Melbourne. Oh, that sounds great. Sweat was literally dripping from the walls in a good way. Yeah, that must have just been, I'm sure he just rocks. Donna Mayering, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you. Mira Maxwell. What's up, Mira? Thank you for supporting the show. You're making Gotham great again. Once you have them by the balls, their hearts and minds usually follow. Best quote ever. That is a great quote. I recommend R. Nixon. It's kind of an odd super 8mm film that's never been released if you have an odd, morbid curiosity about Nixon. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. 354 likes. Outstanding. And of course, hit the like button if you're watching on Rockfin. You can sign up to Rockfin for free, rockfin.com/Graham-Elwood. And we will be doing Arrogant Trail Generation song. Here's Ron's song right there. I've seen Madonna live in concert twice. Nice. I can't wait to go back to see shows. Can't wait. All right, that's our show, everybody. Thank you for supporting what we do. We'll be live tomorrow at 3:00 Pacific time, 6:00 Eastern, doing Government Secrets with Lee Camp, episode 42. Beep, beep, beep. We're going to be talking about the history of the CIA and the military funding movies in Hollywood. Yeah, we're going to get into that little fun secret. So thank you so much for supporting our show. I think there's somebody we just had. Bill Nye, the highest guy, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for tipping us at rockfin.com. Graham, could you sing The Trees by Rush as Shatner? Done. S-Coin, shave your knuckles for justice. Hey, Graham, are you buying the dip? Yes, I am. Elon Musk helped drive the markets down, and then I was just watching Altcoin Daily. This is the thing, you look at the blockchain, a lot of newer whales, like people who bought big amounts of Bitcoin at the end of last year or beginning of this year when Bitcoin was at like 20 grand. They all cashed out when they got scared when Elon Musk made his tweet. So they all sold off, but big institutional money, people are snatching up Bitcoin. I would buy the dip, just buy Bitcoin. When it's under $40,000, it's a crazy deal. That's what I would do, but do your own, and if you bought some earlier and it's like the price was up and now it's down, don't panic, hang on to it for the long term. That's what I'm doing. You just ride this stuff out. But yes, I am buying the dip. Andrew D, shave your knuckles for justice. Someone in YouTube chat said it's not delivery, it's Laverno. And I said that was something, and they had my username too. Oh God, I need to make this announcement. So someone has shown up in some of the comments on my YouTube channel claiming to be me. They've stolen my image. They've created a fake Graham Elwood YouTube channel. And they say, go to my here's my WhatsApp number, and are claiming that they are me. And they're like, I'll help you manage your crypto account. It's a scam. I'm not going to manage anybody's crypto account. I don't manage anybody's investment portfolio. It is fake. Report this person to YouTube. I've never given out my WhatsApp number. Come talk to me on WhatsApp. I've never done that. I will never do that. The only thing I have done is I have some Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum wallets. If anyone wants to donate crypto to this show, that's the only thing I've ever done. In the same way you can donate on PayPal or Venmo, but be aware there is somebody claiming to be me, and this happens in the crypto space. They want to get people that are new to crypto and don't understand it. It's in the comment section of some of my crypto videos on YouTube. It'll look like me. It'll say Graham Elwood. It'll have my photo. And they'll say, hey, come join me on WhatsApp. And somebody thankfully emailed me through grahamelwood.com. And I'm glad I saw the email, because I get a lot of emails and I cannot respond to all of them. And they said, is this really you? And I was like, no, this is not me. And then I went to YouTube and I reported this account, but I'm seeing it pop up there. So I am never going to manage. I'm never going to ask you to give me like links to your wallet or anything like that. I don't manage anybody's crypto. I have wallets. Those wallets that I've put in the show notes is literally only for me to receive crypto if you want to send it to me. That's it. I don't want to know where and I wouldn't ever know I don't want your wallet. I don't want the keys to your wallet or your phrases or your password. I'm never going to ask you for anything like that. So be careful. There's people out there trying to scam you. Don't fall for it. And there's a lot of scams out there. People claiming to be Elon Musk. If you send us Dogecoin, we'll send you back twice. It's a scam. Don't fall for those. Be careful. There's a lot of scams out there. So thank you, Andrew G, for bringing that up. So please. Hi, I'm Graham Elwood, financial advisor and cryptocurrency manager. No, that's incorrect. I am not. I know it's a DiGiorno. I know you're just being coy, Andrew, but you reminded me that there is somebody out there impersonating me and trying to scam people out of money. So do not do that. I'm not going to manage anyone's account or anything like that. So start your own coin, bro. The Elwood. Yeah, I give people financial advice. Abolish capitalism. That's cool. All right, let me find us. What was the Rush song? Shit, I already forgot. Let me go back and find that doc. I'm Bill Nye, the highest guy. I'll manage your marijuana for free. Just send me your marijuana and I will manage it for you. The Trees by Rush. All right, you got that. We're going to sing that as Shatner. Government Secrets tomorrow, Kate, is at 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern. The Trees by Rush.
So then I said to him, you ought to customize your car insurance with Liberty Mutual. So you only pay
These
for what
Liberty
you
Mutual
need.
ads are super dumb. I can't handle it. I'm glad this actor's working. I don't begrudge this cat at all. I would take that gig too. But man. Where's the song? Hold on. Oh, the music starts slow. Sorry, I'm not that familiar with the song. Wow, New Rush had a labor song there. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the Political Vigilante, and you should know this with Ron Placone, everybody. MHC, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Dali Mashak, on the other hand, is Graham's legitimate cryptocurrency advisor. That is our show. Thanks everybody for supporting what we do. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Kate, our moderator. Thank you, Ron Placone. Thank you, everybody over at Facebook who's watching the show, and of course YouTube. Hit the like button and subscribe. We're on now under 78,000 subscribers. I went to copyright school, so I'll get the copyright strike lifted by August. We will see you all tomorrow, 3:00 Pacific time, with Lee Camp doing Government Secrets. Shave your knuckles for justice. Follow the money, connect the dots. That's how you get the truth, and that is how you will make Gotham great again. You're all political vigilantes. Shave your knuckles for justice.